I think what I learned most in Beit Midrash was how to ask a critical and thoughtful question. And that is something I think about every day to this day, is how to try and poke a hole in it, try and ask something thoughtful that maybe somebody hasn't asked before.
First you're presented with a text and it kind of sounds like gibberish, and then you have to reread it a few times, or you rewatch a movie and you discover new things every time. It's like when you study it with someone else and then you study it with your teacher, you're all coming from different perspectives, so we're all identifying different aspects of the text. So then we have to wonder, why did we encounter this the first time, or why is this so poignant in the text but it's not as relevant later on?
One of the core things is, working in Chavruta, that was not something that would happen all the time in other classes. And I feel like in college, that's definitely a huge thing, working in pods, working in pairs. My professor will just set us up with two people that I've never even met before, and we have to work together to kind of pull something apart, something that's really challenging.
I thought it was fascinating that you could have this whole dialogue, this whole interface. You're sort of watching it play out. It's almost like a screenplay between different rabbis, commentators, bringing back in Torah, about this very, very simple and specific thing.
It's just another way of study. I feel like it's not something I've experienced in other classes, and I've definitely never experienced prior to Milken. But the Beit Midrash Fellowship gives us the chance to be our own teachers and to learn from our peers. And then those skills, those advocacy skills, those public speaking, just critical analysis, you can apply to so many other subjects.
There's one teacher at the front of the room, but 20 teachers sitting at their desks. And I really feel like that's more the case for Beit Midrash than for any other class.
Once we get on a tangent or we unlock something in a text, it's we're so focused to the point where stop, we need more time. Enough, we need to keep going, we're on to something.
I think one of the amazing things about Beit Midrash and my entire Jewish education at Milken was learning the word peoplehood and understanding that being Jewish was more than just a culture, it was more than just a religion, it was more than a people, it was more than a land. It defied racial barriers and ethnic barriers, and was this larger sort of conceptual thing. And I think Beit Midrash really played into that, right? These lessons that we've learned that have been passed down for generations, that I've seen in my own life, serve that higher peoplehood.
I think that learning to closely analyze a text in Beit Midrash is a skill that's going to serve me well, both in my other classes in high school, but also down the line in college.
Even my policy classes that I took in college, I think Beit Midrash prepared me for two reasons. I think, first and foremost, it's that critical thinking component. And taking something, especially in the policy field, that everybody sort of sees and takes for granted. In Beit Midrash, we look to poke holes in what has been taken for granted and what we've read over and over again.
Every time in Beit Midrash that we start a new unit, I feel like I'm coming to new realizations about myself and about how I as a Jew function in my Jewish community.
The essence of it has been carried down through generations in my family. It had to have been, right? And I was the benefactor of that, and I'm reading it, in this high school class, and eventually, hopefully one day I'll be able to pass those values down to my children.